Good morning. Good morning. Sorry for being 30 minutes late. I literally just woke up. Didn't sleep good last night, so apologies. So, like I was saying, I just woke up, so I haven't played a whole lot this morning. I woke up at 4 a.m. Well, actually, I was just up because I couldn't sleep. Uh, at 4 and entered INEO, and I've been swinging it. But besides that, I haven't really played much today. Um, I see LTRY is still, unfortunately, for some folks, still pretty bullish. That was a crazy spike. Um, Not sure if any of y'all played that spike or not. But as of right now, this is the only play that I'm in. So I'm looking through the top lists right now to see if there's any other candidates that interest me. But again, apologies for being late today. I haven't been up very long. Can y'all hear me? Mic working, everything? Yeah, no, I see your comment. Definitely a stream today. I just overslept. But I'm definitely getting into this play right here. I am in. Need to do some research on it while I get my locates. So I just entered it IMNN on whatever it's spiking about. So I'm gonna look at the news. An annual meeting, oral presentation highlighting survival data for phase 2 trial. Okay, yeah, no. These are the type of plays I like playing. Okay, cool. So I'm in this one on this spike. I entered at 77 and I will re-enter. I'm getting some more locates. Um, I'll re-enter at $1 unless I see a better level on the yearly. $90 might potentially be some resistance because that's where the monthly pivot is. So I'll enter there. This is going to be a tough level to get past 90 and 92 potentially because of the monthly pivot and the 200 moving average. So I'll be looking to enter there as well. So I'm gonna set one at so I'm in only in 1,000 shares right now. And then I want to re-enter 1,000 more in that range. So I'm gonna do one at 88 cents and then probably 1,000 shares at 88 or 89 cents. So working on that now. And again, apologies for hopping on late today. I just straight up overslept, not sugarcoating it. But yeah, so now the only place I'm in is INEO and IMNN. Got a 77-cent average and I'm adding 1,000 shares at 88 cents. And if it gets up to $1, I'll add some more there as well. But if it breaks and holds, I'll have to look and see what I will hold it till, because this level right here would probably be a good exit zone. But it's moving up, which is good. I'm probably gonna get this fill. Locate prices aren't bad either, so I'm grabbing a little extra. So still haven't. Okay, it's about to hit it. Oh, come on, please hit 88. It's at 87 now. Oh no. Please wick up to 88. Well, it missed that 88 fill. Not excited about that, but that's okay. So for those of you that just hopped on, started the live stream a little late today. And so I woke up late today. I haven't been trading. So I trying to get an entry here at 88. The monthly pivot is at 90. So I'm gonna go heavier right before it. And the 200 moving average is 92 cents. So this is the main play I'm looking at right now. I would like to get a bigger position, and unfortunately I had a 88 cents fill, and it wicked up and didn't fill it, but this thing is looking bullish, so I think it'll get filled at some point. But it's the main thing I'm looking at right now. Good morning, guys. Thanks for y'all's patience today. Did not sleep good. And then I woke up and was like, oh crap, it's already 8:20. But I'm looking at the rest of the top gainers. Nothing else is really that enticing right now. Hoping I see a nice little wick up past 88 cents. Because the news is, I mean, the news isn't bad, but it's just, you know, definitely trigger words. They use things like unprecedented. I highly doubt it's unprecedented, but that's what they're saying. survival data from phase 2 trial. So it is good news, but fundamentally, you know, you've heard me say this, nothing has changed with this company. So it is now it's getting to that 200 moving average area. So and then the last spot I'll probably enter is at $1. But I'm in 3,000 shares now. It says YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. So let me know if I don't know, you see any issues on your side. So I also have a entry at 94. It hit that one, so I'm up to 3,500 shares. My average is 86 cents. So now we're getting up to the dollar range. So now I'm in 4,500 shares. Thanks for the update. But yeah, so hoping for a rejection here. Because it busted through the monthly pivot, the 200. Now the key test is, I hope we don't get up here to have to make that decision, which is looking like we're going to. So
IMNN.
To see if it can hold that level, this 116, 118 level. So if it gets over 120, I'm probably going to trim way down, basically bail out on this position until I see where the top is. But I don't, maybe it doesn't get there. We'll see. I'm in 5,000 shares. But if you look up IMNN, only 2% institutional ownership. The company only has 1.3 months of cash left. They burn about 3 million a quarter, and they currently have 1.2. To continue phase 3, they will need money. You can't. They just passed phase 2. That's cool and all with the news, but it's very expensive to run these trials, so they will need to raise some money. So they would prefer this way higher than $1. I can promise you that, but I wouldn't be surprised if they potentially are looking at some dilution. But I'm gonna dig into this press release a little bit more. I mean, it looks like good news, but again, nothing has changed with this company. Still have to pass phase 3, still have to apply for FDA approval, still got to get approval. So still feeling good in this position. INEO, this was a swing from 4 a.m. I didn't play it after hours yesterday, and I'm kind of glad it did. It didn't really give much back, but this spike in the morning, I got into it and wrote it down. And I was sleeping through most of this. Good morning. Alex, they received delisting notice 3 days ago. You talking about IMNN? They're gonna do whatever they can to keep it over $1 then. So this one might be a little bit of a fight, but we'll see. I have my level. The 1 year. Here we go. So if it breaks over 120 and holds, I'm gonna probably have to dip. I'll take a decent loss on that one, but I don't know where the top is on this thing. It's up 100%, but I'm feeling good about it. There's too many tough levels right here between the monthly pivot and the 200. So let's see how strong it really is. And some tickers trade and respect the 200 more than others. This one's kind of weird, to be honest. It's kind of bounced around the 200 some, but I'll keep an eye on it. It hasn't even closed the whole 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it hasn't even closed the whole 30-minute candle over $1 yet, so still could get rejected right here. Oh, cool. Good to know. Thanks for sharing, Alex. But yeah, the news is good, but like I said, it's just doesn't change the bottom line yet. So still need money, no institutional ownership. LTRY. I hope some people survived this one. This was I know some people were swinging this one. Dang, Alex, you got in at 228 on LTRY. That was a good entry, bro. I'm looking through the circle group now. All the things I missed. Probably in a little heavier than well, I'm in 5,000 shares. That's where I like to be from like my full position is about 5 grand. So if it breaks over 120, I'm just gonna get out. But let's keep an eye on this one. INEO. So this one paid or is going to pay nicely. I got out around this 130 level, and then I've just been holding on to the rest. I assume I'll just take profit around $1, $1.05. Doesn't look like it's going to get bullish again. LTRY, that was a good call on the warrants being at that level. So it's going to have a hard time getting above that level and stay in it. The 228, yeah, which makes sense. It kind of rejected right there. But if market makers, LTRY, if they want to get it above there, they can to issue some of those warrants. But you're right at your, I mean, that was a pretty good entry though, because a lot of times that's where these stocks get rejected at. Dang, Cardell. Yeah, LTRY. I know you and Martin might have potentially swung this one. It's crazy. And in one of my videos, I'm gonna have to talk about these plays like this, because the thing is, after this move, so after you get like rocked by a stock and you get down a little bit, sometimes you're not going to be profitable on it. Whenever you, because like the next pre-market right here, when it fell back down to like 120 and hit the 200, that would have been a good point to try to get out. Because it's just been riding the 200. Because someone from the group was mentioning that playing from behind, like when you're red, is completely different. It is. It's a skill set too, because you want it to fall back into profit, but if you can just get out with a small loss, that's also a win. But this thing is on fire right now. So IMNN. Feeling pretty good about where I'm at. Like I said, I'm in a little heavy with 5,000 shares. My average is 92 cents. I would prefer it to be higher than that. But that's where we are. And it's only about 10% down, so that's all right. I might add one more entry if it gets up to that maybe 118 level, just to help my average, but right now I'm not sweating it. This is the play I like, so let's see what happens. Yeah, Raven, the spikes. I was reading your comment. Um, the other strategy is looking for stocks with huge run. Keep an eye on for half a day, and then if it maintains high price, short. Normally the spikes goes or fades away a few days later. My opinion could be wrong. No, you're 100% right. Most all these fade away. This game is so even with IMNN, which is failing right now, which is good. Even if it maintains its bullishness, to your point, in 1 day, 2 day, 3 days, it's going to go back to where it was. 99% of them do that. The game is getting in at where you think is close to the top, and then if you're wrong, how much pain can you withstand? You know, mine is 120 right now. And if you can withstand that pain, it will eventually come down. It's just not getting in too heavy too early. That's my strategy. And again, I have to say this, not financial advice. This is educational purposes only. This is just what I trade. But I've noticed a very similar trend to you, Raven, where all these stocks eventually come back down. It's just you got to know where to get in. Where do you think it's the top is? And if you're wrong, don't be too heavy of a position where if you are wrong, it goes against you. You don't have to bail, or if you do bail, you bail early. But yeah, no, look, if we look at all these plays, a week from now, they'll be much lower than they are right now. Still swinging BON. Wow. I already forgot what this stock was. I remember the name. Oops, that's the wrong one. I remember trading this one. I forget these things. Ever since the brain injury, my short-term memory is not the best, but that's okay. Can't have it all. BON. Yeah, no, this is a good. This has been playing out nicely. Nice. Did it have a cheap overnight fee? Just don't forget the weekend. It'll be a 3-day weekend, so you'll get 4 nights of fees. But again, for y'all that are, those of you that just hopped on, apologies for being late. I know I'm always like a few minutes late, but 30 minutes late is not cool. I overslept. So apologies for that. Did not sleep good last night. But that's not important. So IMMN, I got another entry on this spike. So that's what I was saying. This, I'll add one more to get my average up a little bit. So I'm in 5,500 shares now, and that is my full position. I'm not letting it get bigger than that. So now my average is 94 cents. So I feel better with that. 94-cent average. Could be better, but not terrible. I like how it just wicked up and kind of came back down though. So let's see. This one might not honor any of the levels that Alex pointed out in the circle group or me, but we noticed very similar things. There's a lot of resistance at this level, but it's looking bullish. Come on. Man, I hope this doesn't bust over 120. Yeah, they usually fade, but I still have RGC in mind. What's RGC? Was that like an old one that just like was a face ripper? Yeah, but this is a probability game. They're not all going to do the same thing. It's just get the ones right that you can. And then when they go against you, get out. Because anybody that held, so when it got to 69, anybody that held after it kind of consolidated past 69, that was a crazy move. Jeez, wow. But yeah, always be cautious. Remember these plays because they always don't play out how you want them to. The outlier can ruin your day. And y'all know my story too. Like most of y'all do. Early in my career, I took a 75K loss on one trade. So I learned the hard way as well. But I have that printed and it's on my desk actually, so I look at it every day. Okay, IMNN is at this key 120 level. Let's see what it does. Honestly, I think it's probably gonna break over it. It's looking pretty bullish to be honest. I hope it doesn't, but it's looking pretty strong. Which stinks. With all that resistance, the moving average, and the monthly pivot, I thought for sure it would reject in one of those areas. But again, it's not over 120 yet, but it's looking pretty dang bullish. And if it gets up there, I'm going to have to trim a lot of shares. Most of my shares. So I'm not really seeing much else. So this is where I'm keeping my attention for now. What Alex, he said, what wrecked me recently is my cost average and sizing, but strategy is great. Yeah, no, that's the name of the game. Because even me being with my average is now like technically it's 96 cents. That's not terrible, but if I would have waited and only got in, but that would have been weird. But the point is, like for me to wait and only enter right here with all this resistance, I don't think I jumped in early. I think I actually have a pretty good average, but it broke through both these. But the point is, yeah, if you have a good average, it's very forgiving because if you have to take a loss, it's not a very big loss. You have a little bit more room to play. But yeah, entries are important. It's something I'm always trying to master, not get in too early. Played out pretty well yesterday, even on the live stream for those that could make it. There's a few plays where I practiced patience before I got in, and it paid off. Because sometimes I want to initially get in a little too early because I know it's going to come down, but if you get in too early, you can't tolerate as much pain. Dang, IMNN is making me. I hope it doesn't break through here because this could be a beautiful play, but it's trying. It is trying. How long have you been trading TB? I don't. Maybe I'm ignorant, but I don't know what TB is. What's TB? Oh, got it. Um, 4 years, 5 years. No, no, no. It's definitely been over 5 years now. Only been profitable about the last 2.5 though. But those last 2.5 years have been very fruitful. I mean, they've been good. Um, and it's been shorting. "2023 I was profitable, 2024 I was profitable, and obviously this year um, profitable. So, but it's all been shorting. For those that are on that didn't find me from Kinfo, I have all my verified trades there. I don't like doing it on the live. But yeah, I didn't create the Bear Wall Street till June of last year. That's what I trade under now. I used to just trade under my personal account, but the Bear of Wall Street Kinfo profile kind of shows what my performance since. Sorry, I'm struggling, guys. So this is my profile since June of last year, so up about 224. That's including that 75K loss. So should be way higher, but I got a little reckless. But still learning. Not an expert. Don't pretend to be. I'm still tweaking my strategy daily. So that's one of the reasons I do these live streams too. It's obviously to help you guys, but it's accountability too. I've learned some things from you guys, so it's cool. Yeah, no problem. If you have any questions, I think you should ask these questions. If you follow somebody trading, make sure there's proof that they know what they're doing. Because a lot of people are not transparent. And I'll be honest, this year to date, I'm up over 100K, but I was up over 100K by February. March and April were tough months for me. But those crypto pre-market spikes, those crypto affiliated treasury whatever spikes, a few of those got me. So technically having a 6-figure year, yes, but it hasn't been smooth. As you can see from the curve, so it's been a little up and down this year. So I peaked out at 118, had a rough couple months, not proud of it, but that's how it goes sometimes. So it's over 120. Let's see if this candle closes above. If so, I'm gonna get out of about half my position, unfortunately. And then if it keeps looking bullish, I'm gonna get completely out. Because the thing that makes me nervous is this. I don't know where the next true resistance is. It could be here, 158. It could be $2. Yeah. Sorry, let me get the mic a little bit closer. But yeah, I'm not happy about this play. But it's still not over 120. Y'all know me. I don't like to cut my losses early. So still in it, but I do have if it hits 125, I am getting out. Dang, the audio is going in and out. I just moved the mic closer. Yeah, I need to upgrade my live stream. I'm still new to this, so give me the feedback. I'll see if I can fix it. I noticed even the screen share is a little blurry. So I need to look at that over the weekend to see how I can make sure the screen is a lot more clear. But yeah, I got to trim positions here. It still could fail right here, but I'm not letting this one ticker ruin my week. So I'm gonna get out some shares here. Not happy about it. Not happy about it. Thing about it is it's Friday, so these stocks usually, let me know if the audio is still going in and out. The thing about Friday is these stocks usually give back their gains on Fridays. Most people don't want to hold it over the weekend, but you can't bank on that. It's crazy. It busted right through one. All that resistance. Like, that's unfortunate. That is unfortunate. But yeah, looking very bullish. So I trimmed over half my position. Probably should have just got completely out, but all right. Well, is there anything else worth paying attention to? Because honestly, this one, I don't know where the top is. So I would like to play something else till we figure out where the top is on this guy. But I'm looking at the top gainers list. There's not, I don't know, there's not really anything that's drawing me in. The only other thing that's over 50% is BLMZ, and it's only trading for 24 cents, which makes sense. All eyes are on this stock right now. Okay, I turned my mic on and off. If that doesn't work, sorry, you're having to do this. Just let me know, and I'll just turn on my desktop audio instead of my mic. But if you didn't hear me, all I was really saying is this is unfortunate. I thought this one would be a good play, but I don't see a top. Or I don't know where the top is, so I would like to play something else. But when I look at the top gainers, there's nothing else over 50% right now. It's only BLMZ. and it's a 24-cent stock, so I can't even trade it if I wanted to. I don't want to, but even if I did, good. Thank you for letting me know. But yeah, I'm sad about this play, I'll be honest. I thought this one would be, and I still think there's a very good chance it rejects at 9:30, but I had to trim down most of my shares because it's just too high risk. And I'm having a good week, and I don't want this ticker to ruin it. So only at 2,000 shares now. If it gets over $1.50, I'm trimming all those as well. Again, I know I'm probably a little bit looser on my stop losses, but it's how I play. Not financial advice. I just hate when I stop out, then it goes immediately down. Good. I'm glad it's working better. Yeah. And sorry about yesterday with the circle group too. That was crazy. I couldn't even log in either. Like the people that got into the live stream early were able to stay in, but nobody else could get in it. Yeah, I do not recommend IMNN right now because we don't know where the top is. But there's nothing else to play. Literally nothing else to look at right now. Maybe this one, but I mean, LTRY. I would be interested in LTRY if it, actually, I'm gonna go ahead and get some locates. Or I might already have some from earlier. Yeah, dude. So a short at this warrant level, apparently there's some warrants around, what was it, 228 or something? 230. I'm gonna put an entry if it wants to test these highs. But again, I know y'all have heard me say this. I like 1 day spikes and fades. You know what I mean? So like what this one's doing. I like day one spikes. These spikes run, and then on the third day running, I don't really like those plays because I'm my style banks on, even if I get my entry poor, it's eventually gonna give it all back. Where if it's a multi-day runner like this, they make me a little bit more nervous because it's already shown signs that it's not gonna give it right back. Will it give it back? Yeah, probably, but Friday I'll enter it. But if it wasn't Friday, after 3 days of being bullish, it's not my favorite play because it's kind of got momentum at that point. But since there's a hard level right here, 229, there's warrants here, and it's a Friday, and I know they usually give back their gains on Fridays, I'll play this spike. But just kind of wanted to elaborate my thought process on that. Yeah, IMNN is looking mean. Yeah. Oh, I bet it does have some tight halt bands. Yeah, I didn't let this one mess up my morning. Basically break even now with that loss, with me jumping out. For realized, but unrealized, I'm still down, so I'm red for right now. The scary thing about this one is, to your point, the tight halt bands, um, and it's not really giving much back. Like this is a massive green candle. It's went from 12 cents to like 40 cents, and this is a small ticker. But I'd like to see it give some of this back when it comes. What is this? This is the 9. If it gets close to the 9, I'll trim another 1,000 shares because, like I said, I'm in 2,000 still. But usually, after you see a big green candle like this, it'll come back and test one of the moving averages. But it's starting to form a red candle now. But this is looking pretty bullish. And the fact that nothing else is running makes it more bullish. And I'm sure y'all have noticed this trend, but if there's a lot of stocks running, people usually bounce from stock to stock, whichever one's like has momentum. So all eyes are probably on this one right now. So I want to be cautious with it. Yeah, I would love for this to get all the way back down to 120 because that would kind of establish a high, pre-market high. Because I don't like when market opens and playing high of day when it's only 10 cents away. I like to see it come down a decent amount. So if it got down to 120, I would potentially re-enter at this 145 level because I have a ton of locates now. But if the market opens and it's at like this level, 135, I'm not playing a 10-cent high of day. I'm gonna have to just watch it some. So they have warrants at 2. I didn't know that. I did not know that. So that's scary. It could potentially get to $2 or even higher if they want to exercise those warrants. So it's starting to drop a little bit. So let's see. Like I said, if it falls to like this 120 range and at 9:30, I might potentially re-enter around 145, 146. And then if it breaks 150, immediately get out because it's going to. I probably won't even wait for a 5 minute to close over it. If it gets over 150, I'm just going to assume it's going to keep going. Dang, this is the first stock that popped up. I wish I would have overslept a little bit longer now. Avoid this thing. I woke up just in time for punishment. If y'all have any questions, if there's anything y'all want me to look at, let me know. But right now, all my attention's on IMNN, nothing else. Yeah, Alex. Again, my worst trading times are 7 to 9:30. It's hilarious. That's that's my favorite time to trade too. But I'm most profitable from 4 to 7, more profitable intraday, and more profitable after hours. But I know why. It's because these are whenever they're initially the most bullish. So if you get in too early, you can get some pain. But the problem is whenever you get it right during this time, it pays well. But yeah, you just gotta be cautious on some of these spikes, especially if they don't respect levels. Like this one has proven it doesn't respect levels. So that's why I'm only down to 2,000 shares right now. And if it gets to back to 120, I got a cover order at 121 for 1,000 more shares. So if it hits that, I'll only be in 1,000 shares, but I'm going to re-enter if it gets back to 145. Try to win some of my money back. And then if it keeps going past 150, I am out. And I might not even pay attention to this stock again until it makes a very clear decision on where it's headed. But yeah, nothing else really looks entertaining, and that's not a good sign. Because if I'm looking for a momentum play, I'm looking at IMNN. It's really the only thing that's intriguing right now. LTRY starting to perk up a little bit. Like I said, I have entries in this 220 to 225 range. But yeah, I traded light. For y'all that's in the circle group, I'm sure y'all saw I had a good day yesterday, but I traded light and I went heavy on this one. And of course, this one is the one that's acting up a little bit. Okay, market's open. Let's see what happens. LTRI is looking very bullish, very, very bullish. Nice green candle. The good thing is the first candle is usually a fake out candle, but let's see. Let's see if it tests these highs. I hope it does because I got entries up here. But I don't want to get too far away from this stock. So I'm going to keep my eye on it. So it hit my, so I'm only in 1,000 shares now. It hit my 121 and watch it tank now. That I have like no position. What I hope happens is it bounces back up to 145. It hits my position and just fails. But the scenarios that'll probably happen is it's either going to fail here, it's either going to test this high and reject, or it's just going to bust through. And if it gets over 150, be cautious with this stock. That's all I'm going to say. So it has fallen below 120. LTRY. I wonder if I got my fill. Yeah, so I'm in LTRY now, so I got to keep an eye on it if it breaks a new high. I'm in 1,000 shares here. I am in. Let's see what it does. Let's see what it does. Oh man, LTRY is making a new high. Jeez, getting rocked this morning. Man. Okay. So I'm about to stop out of LTRY. I am in. Kind of dancing around the same level. I wouldn't mind this one failing now, of course. Like I said, best case scenario hits up, I increase my average, but obviously I want it to fail and give back all of its gains. I'm only in 1,000 shares now. LTRY. Man, this thing is looking mean. Look at that candle. Jeez. Where's this thing going? These are the ones that scare me where I don't know where like the next level is. There's like no clear. I think it could get to 3. Pretty easy. Not the best trading morning so far, but that's all right. And again, I know this is a bold statement, but I think IMNN will probably close lower than it is right now. It's just how much pain is it going to hand out to shorts before it gets there. So right now, obviously I took some losses on it. Nothing too crazy, but if it gets to 145, I got a couple thousand shares waiting for it. Well, I got 1,000 shares at 145 and 1,000 shares at 147. So a few red candles for LTRY. IMNN. Okay, let's see. Oh, I think it might have halted. Remy, what do I think of IMNN? Probably stay away, to be honest. I'm re-entering at 145. It just halted up, but yeah, I am far from recommending this stock. This one is very bullish. I'm gonna hop in, see if it fails. What usually happens when they test the pre-market high is they usually fail immediately and it fades the rest of the day, or it breaks through and bullish. It's just good risk versus reward. So I'm getting in at 145. If I'm wrong, I'm getting out just north of 150. So potentially I could lose 5 to, I hold it. Y'all know how I make it prove that it's failing. So I could potentially lose 5 to maybe 15 cents. If I'm right, there's almost $1 for it to give back. So that's why I'm re-entering at 145. But again, I would not be surprised if it breaks through. It's looking very bullish, but let's see. LTRY. Man, this stock is wild. Been acting up. This is probably one of the crazier ones of the week, if not the craziest one of the week. Yeah, I'm kind of just looking to see where I think IMNN could go, but I think it could go, yeah, I think it could get pretty bullish. LTRY, so let's see if it gives back, hits gains. That was a crazy green candle. I'm surprised it didn't halt. That went from $2 to 255. So you said big resistance in 182. That's what I was looking for. I didn't. Oh, this is the wrong ticker. So 182. Good to know. Good to know. Sorry, guys. I'm kind of all over the place with my charts. Yeah, if they got a notice that they need that they're non-compliant for being under $1, they're going to try to whip out all the tricks to keep it above $1, or they get delisted. So. Anyways, I have 2,000 shares. I'll be entering right here in this 145 to 147 level once it unhalts. LTRY, I'm gonna just be honest. This one, it's kind of like stair stepping at this point. I would be very cautious with this one. Because that was a very bullish move right there. And again, y'all know I don't use a lot of technical indicators. I literally just look at a chart and try to like read what I'm seeing based on past moves. But this is clearly bullish. IMNN. Oh, it almost halted down. I think 1 or 2 more cents it would have. Okay, it's halting down now. Man, I'm not in I'm not in enough to win back my gains if it does stay going down, but that's all right. Y'all see why I hold on and let him play some? Because this is the part that like pisses me off whenever I stop out and then it halts down. But this fight is still far from over. So this is a very good sign that IMNN halted down. I'm not trying to take that away. Very good sign. It halted down. But this fight is not over. Once it gets below $1 and VWAP, I'll start celebrating. But until then, still a war at this level right here. I went ahead and closed out my INEO position. I think I had an order at 113 and it got filled. But this was a good play from this morning. Unfortunately, IMNN wiped that out. But long story short, the 4 a.m. pop that I talk about, there was one that it popped, tested highs, failed, took profit here in this 130 area, and then I wrote out the rest. Should have taken profits in pre-market for LTRY. Feel like this is going to turn around. Honestly, man, I've been pretty lucky with LTRY. I haven't had a losing trade on it yet, but I think today that might change though. Because this could just be a spike and then it fades away since it's Friday. But right now I'm down on it. Well, I'm actually at break even now. We're down 50 bucks with 1,500 shares. My average is 230. But I'm gonna get out at 230 and I'll re-enter if it spikes again. I'm just trying to protect capital today more than anything. Because I've had a good week. And so far my job of protecting capital today is not going as well as I would hope for. A little red, but nothing crazy. But yeah, LTRY, I wouldn't be surprised either direction with this one. I think since it's Friday, there's a good chance that it could give back some of its gains, but it'll probably at least get back to the 200. But again, I don't know for sure. But yeah, apologies on the plays not working out. Usually when we go live, we have at least one that goes our way, but I am in. Kind of rocked me so far. So my P&L for the day is I'm down 800 realized and down 266 unrealized. But let's see what IMNN does here. So yeah, I'm up 8.5K on the week. So not, and my average is way down, 82%, but um, so I just don't want to mess up my week. I had a decent week so far. So oftentimes you'll see after a red candle, you'll see a green candle that takes up almost all of this candle. And if it gets rejected immediately, that's a very good sign. So we see this.
I am in.
This is not a good sign though. It halting up. Oh, good. It's getting rejected. So if it rejects right here, very good sign. If it halts up, very bad sign. I think it was 1 cent away from halting right there. LTRY is giving back a lot of its gains, just fell below VWAP. I'm in the money now, $100, but nothing crazy. I would like to see this halt down. I'm just going to hold on to LTRY. I'm not planning on taking any profits. Maybe if it gets to the 200, but I'm not in very heavy, and there's potential for it to give back a lot of its gains today. But right now, less focus on LTRY, more focus on what IMNN does here. It's kind of in this no man's land. Like, I either want it to go up here, test the high, get a bigger position, then fell, or just fell. But it bouncing around in this level, it's not ideal. But it's kind of a war with bears and bulls right here. So we'll see. We'll see who wins. But yeah, like I was saying, 8 and usually the reason I pull this up is so we can go over past plays, but I woke up so early today, or I woke up so late today, and I don't get to. But on these lives, I'm gonna start pulling up my Kinfo just for transparency reasons, and going over plays that worked the previous day and plays that didn't work. I hope I hope IMNN gets added to the plays that worked, but I'm kind of like 50-50 on it right now. I wouldn't be surprised if it broke a new high or if it failed. LTRY fell below VWAP. It's making another little bounce. Nice recovery from LTRY. INEO hit 200 moving average. But yeah, Alex, I was looking at your alert in the group. Near a dollar, red on dilution tracker, approaching 200 daily. Like this was a pretty good setup. It just didn't respect these levels. Because usually if you have the 200 and the monthly pivot right close to each other, it's going to reject there. But IMNN did not today. And Raven, you pointed out, I don't know if you're still on, but that was a good recap what you put about LTRY. So it's kind of in that level now that you were expecting it to kind of have a hard time, the 220 to 230. So this is kind of an important level for it, LTRY. If it fails here, it could fail the rest of the day, but too soon to tell. Anytime I see consolidation, my bias is long since it's being manipulated. Not sure if that's accurate. Um, yeah, Alex, like you might have a point. Anytime you see consolidation, your bias is long. Um, there might be some validity to it. I don't know. I think they do. Somebody wants to keep this above a dollar. I definitely believe that. The thing that this has very little institute. So I notice the ones that usually, the reason I pay attention to institutional ownership is because I've personally noticed if it has a high institutional ownership, those feel like the ones that get manipulated the most, which makes sense. Big money's in it. So they can kind of move it to wherever they want to move it to. Um, Seems like it's usually less manipulated with low institutional ownership, but they still get manipulated. But it goes both ways. We know their game. They manipulate it up, dilute on share, or they do an offering and dilute. So it gets manipulated both ways. We try to catch the manipulation on the backside. Steven, what's up, man? Hope you're having a better day than me. So I'm looking at my phone, LT, and as y'all most y'all know, I'm a mobile trader. I do this live streaming so y'all can see, but I'm a mobile trader. But I don't have as much on my charts when I'm doing mobile. All I have is just the VWAP and the 200, but I do like the other moving averages because I use those to take profit sometimes. But right now, I wish IMNN would just make a move at this point, up or down. And if any of y'all just hopped on, I have an entry at 145, 147. I'm only in 1,000 shares right now. I was in a 5,000 shares, but I cut them. You green right now? That's better than me, Steven. Went a little too heavy on IMNN. I had high conviction on this play, but that happens sometimes. So I'm kind of just going to bounce back between these two, LTRY and IMNN. I'm not rushing to get off live stream. I'll hang out a little bit longer, see how these play out. Well, maybe not see how they play out, but it might take all day. But I'm going to stay close to it for now. You're probably right, Alex. Yeah, I trade the same position sizes. Um, I like small accounts. Oh well, how about this? I know small is subjective, so um, I never get so I trade 25 to 50K accounts always. If it gets over 50K, I'm taking profit. Real quick, IMNN, did it halt down? If it halted down right now, that's a very good sign. But to answer your question, I do trade the same position size. I keep a 25 to 50K account always. Should I scale up as I win? Probably. But I'm really comfortable in the 25 to 50K account size. Um, and that's what I like trading. Maybe I'll scale up at some point, but right now that's the size I like. Because it's under, people don't talk about it enough, but scaling your account size, it's tough because I've noticed that whenever I enter heavier than I'm currently used to, I have that uneasy feeling, you know? So, but y'all have seen me a couple weeks ago. What was it? KIDZ. I was in like a 16K, 20K position. So if I have high conviction, I'll go heavier. But normally, normally my max size is about 5K. But this is a very good, but yeah, even last year. So the 200K that was made was on a 25K account. And then when it gets up to 50, I usually withdraw, rinse and repeat. But yeah, this is a very good good sign that it's holding down. And ooh, I'm about to take some profit here. LTR wise, yeah, let's go. Let's go. I needed a win. I needed a win. Unfortunately, that's not enough to get me in the green, but it makes me closer, so I'll take it. Again, it was light. I was light in LTRY, so, and heavy in IMNN, so I should have did it in reverse. I'd be in a better spot, but that's okay. Pretty impressive. No, thanks. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. But I also like to share when things are not going that great. So, again, by February, I was already 6 figures. March, I had a red month. April, slightly, well, April, I was up, I think 18K. And this month, I'm up 21K. But March was really tough for me. Had a bad month. Just a few big plays blew me up. And it was hard to come back from. So I'm like 6 for 6 with LTRY. I played it at least 6 times. I'm surprised it hasn't gotten me once, but might be retiring it. Unless it bounces back up here, I shouldn't be entering it. Appreciate that, Raven. Yeah, no, I don't know if you would say it's more risky. I think it is more risky. I do let them play a little bit more, which equals bigger losses for me. I'm not talking about like the dumb losses I've taken in the past, the massive ones. That was just reckless. I don't really have those anymore, but I do like to make it prove that it's going to break a new high. Because what I hate seeing is just like one candle wicking up and then it's kind of like a stop loss raid and then it immediately goes down. So I was running into that a lot. So now I kind of wait for the 5 minute to close over the new level. Again, everything has pros and cons. I take less losses that way, but when I do take losses, they're a tad bit bigger. But I think it's net positive because I'm not getting my stop loss hit all the time. But anyways, IMNN. Let's see where this thing goes. I am very curious what happens here. And it's unhalting. Let's see. Dang, Alex, your last 2 weeks have been rough. I hate to hear that, bro. Yeah, I'm profitable last 2 weeks, but I'd be lying to say it's been easy. Yeah, it's been tough trading the last couple weeks. January was my favorite month, probably ever trading. It's a month I had, it's my best month. And there was just so many opportunities. And this is an example. See, there's not a lot of opportunities today. Basically, the top 2 plays is IMNN and LTRY. And LTRY isn't even up that much. But in January, I'm not exaggerating. Like there was times that before market open, there was 5, 6, 7 stocks up 100%. There was a couple that were up 200%. And that's beautiful because all of those are going to dive at some point that day. Maybe one of them survives, but right at market open, they were just diving. So, and then there was like one that took off for the day. So if you were in that one, you just got to get out quick and then just ride out the other ones. But the market with small caps, they change pretty frequently, and right now it has been a little bit tougher to trade. Come on, this is a good sign. Red candle. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Rejected it. So it's looking like it might bounce off VWAP. It's busting through now.
GSRTR.
If we get a halt down here, it'll be huge. Just got an alert. GSRTR. Honestly, I'm just gonna pay attention to IMNN right now. That one's only up 33%. If it gets up to 50%, I'll start doing some research on it, but yeah, no, see, this was a beautiful play, LTRY. I just didn't go heavy enough. Because I waited for it to retest the highs and then it kind of panned out, but this one did not play out. I wanted to. Raven, how do you set up alerts in TradingView? I know you're in the group, in the circle group. If you watch the video with like I think it's called like my tech stack, I don't do alerts on TradingView. I do alerts on Trade Ideas. It's a separate app. I just set the criteria. If anything moves up, anything less than 100 million market cap moves up 15% or more in a one-minute candle, and it has 20 or 30x its usual volume, something like that, I get a notification. And that doesn't mean I'm going to enter it immediately, but it puts it on my radar. So 100 million up 15%, 100 million or less up 15% in 1 minute is basically the criteria. And I do like 30 times its average volume just so I don't get like fake outs. Like one person buys it and it's a huge bid ask spread and then I get a trigger. I'm trying to avoid that. I don't know what this GSSRTR is. It doesn't seem like it's getting a lot of volume though. GSRTR. I'm not getting any results for it. I don't even know what it is. Oh, it's an acquisition corp. Yeah, I'm not interested in this one. So back to IMNN. And if any of y'all are trapped in, again, I can give financial advice, nor do I want to. But remember, if any of y'all are trapped in this play and you're holding and praying it's gonna get back to here to a dollar or wherever, that might not happen. So I'm not opposed to, my strategy is like, even if you're trimming for a loss, it's still a better loss than it was. You know what I mean? Like, I know some of y'all are trapped in this play. So this might not be a bad trim level, but again, that's something you're gonna have to decide. Do your due diligence, but just remember this thing can keep going up. It is a Friday, so it might give some of its gains back, but again, it's been bullish for a few days, so I really would like to see this one close under VWAP. I wanted to get a better entry. Maybe I should have entered at 139 or something. My entries were 145, 147, but I'm a little frustrated with this stock though. Oh, you green in it. Nice, Alex. Good job. Well, you had a good entry, yeah. But it's crazy how that 200 is like a magnet, especially for this play. This thing has just been basically riding the 200 LTRY. Like it's respected the 200 moving average big time. As soon as it bounces off of it, it comes right back to it. So you can kind of, if you just play the bounces off the VWAP or the 200 moving average on this one, when it gets too overextended, it eventually comes right back to the 200 pretty quickly. I am in. So let's see where this is. 1 minute left on this 5 minute candle. If it closes below VWAP, that's a very good confirmation for shorts and for longs to get out. So let's see. And it's getting late for me, or well, it's getting later. I usually don't live stream this long, but I kind of want to see how this plays out. So I'll probably, if this makes a move here soon, I'll probably end the live stream. But I really, before I bounce, I want to see a confirmation one way or the other, like what the plan is. I mean, we're in a good spot right now with IMNN, but it definitely could bounce off VWAP. These stocks love bouncing off VWAP. So I would love in the next 12 seconds to see it close under VWAP, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Nope. It's kind of looking like it's a setup to bounce right here, but let's see. Thank y'all for hopping on today. Appreciate it. Not the best outcome today on the live stream, but there's still plenty of time left. I'm gonna the good thing about this one is it went up so quick, so fast that if it falls below VWAP, there's a long way to the 200 moving average. So I can recoup some of those losses, but it might be a little bit of a stretch to get break even on this one. Because I'm only in 1,000 shares. I was hoping it would bounce to 145 and I could get in another couple thousand, but if it fails right now, I will not be sad about it. I rarely add to winners, but sometimes I do because there's something the VWAP fade, and this one actually might be a pretty good candidate. If it closes below VWAP, which it might, if the 5 minute closes below VWAP, sometimes I add to it. But I don't think I'll be doing this one because even if it closes below VWAP right here, it still could be on this like trend upward. So I'm not feeling super confident about this one. I should though, because it's in a poor cash, it meets all the criteria. Low institutional ownership, poor cash position. So potentially I might add this one, but the trick with adding below VWAP is not to go too heavy because I always like to leave some on the table just in case it bounces. And my theory with that is, so if it falls below VWAP, that's kind of confirmation for me that I believe it's going to keep falling to at least the 200. But I always leave some for if it pops, so I can re-enter close to the highs. And the reason why I do that is, again, risk versus reward. If I re-enter at 145 and I get it wrong and I stop out at 150, that's like a 5-cent loss. But that's a way that I can increase my average, double my position. And so if my first entry was only 107 and then I average up to 145 and then I get like a 130, 125, whatever average, that's better, and my position is twice as big, and I usually let it ride out. But I don't know if I'm gonna be adding to this one or not if it falls below it, just because there's a few other things. Oh no, I think it's holding up. There's a few other things I'm concerned about with this one. They're going to try to make this one stay above $1. I think it could get manipulated. They got a compliance notification that they need to stay over $1. So could this one get manipulated? Yeah, probably. But if this was up like $2, $3, whatever, I'd be interested in the VWAP fade. But the underlying news kind of makes me a little cautious. But yeah, I had to winner sometimes. But 90% of the money I made is trying to time the top, whether it's a initial spike or a test of highs. But I'm probably going to end it here soon. I just realized I needed to make a phone call. Y'all know the plan. The only stock I'm in right now is IMNN. I've talked about it the last hour and a half, so y'all know what I'm thinking about with this one. Sorry, there's not much else to trade today or talk about, but this one is the main one I'm interested in. So hopefully it plays out where I can at least get back to about break even. I'm a little red on the day, but nothing too crazy. But anyways, appreciate y'all hopping on. The market is closed on Monday. Obviously, I won't be live streaming Monday, but I'll be back. Tuesdays are usually in the Circle group, exclusive for Circle group. So I'll be back on YouTube on Wednesday. But anyways, thank y'all for hopping on, and I will be very active in the chat today, in the War Room chat, because I'm not don't have a lot planned on the day. But thank y'all, appreciate it. See y'all next time.